We're here to talk a little bit about what we've learned about the intentions of Border Patrol. Earlier this week, the Chief of Border Patrol Operations out of Miami informed us that their intentions were to bring about 1,000 people every month up into the Broward and Palm Beach County area, 500 to each county, and that these people were going to be brought from the El Paso area that have crossed the border illegally. The composition, according to what we were told, was supposed to be family units, so we don't know what that means. We don't know if that means a 15-year-old, a mother and a father, or a 5-year-old and a mother, or just a father and a child. We don't know what the composition of a family unit meant. The questions that we had, because we believe this is a public safety issue, is, what kind of health conditions do they have, even though they've had a minor physical exam? What are they going to do when they get here? Their intentions were to process them in Broward and in Palm Beach County up in Riviera Beach at their facility near the port, give them a notice to appear to come to a hearing at some later date, and then release them into the community. No accommodations for transportation leaving there. No accommodations for shelter or a place to live. Just no real plan on what's going to happen to these 500 people every month that's going to come to Palm Beach County and be released into our community. My focus here is on public safety. That's my first and most important responsibility to this community, along with the police chiefs in every community. Our resources are already stretched in this community as far as the charitable organizations that try to take care of the homeless. We have a homeless problem. We're dealing with hepatitis A outbreak. We're dealing with measles outbreaks. So to take this type of influx of illegal immigrants from another location and to bring them into Palm Beach County is not only a public safety problem, because we don't know what the backgrounds on these people are. We don't know what documentation the Border Patrol has to identify who they are and what their criminal background is, if any. And then they're just going to walk into the community. It's not a good plan. We think it's a danger to this community, and it's going to put a real strain on what the resources are. So having said that, I'm going to let Chief Bremer from the Chiefs Association give his perspective on this, Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. Sean Bremer, B-R-A-M-M-E-R. S-E-A-N. Thank you, sir. Just to reiterate what the sheriff has said, the Chiefs Association this morning, we met with the chief from CBP, and as he explained to us the plan to allow these illegal immigrants to come into our county with no planning. There was nothing. We were not contacted prior to this, and I think with that said, we need planning. We need to have a better plan in place, as the sheriff has said, for us to be able to handle all this stuff. Our resources are already stretched. And our Chiefs Association believe that with planning, with us being included in some form of planning, we would have been able to tackle this a lot better than what it was presented to us.
Mayor?
Thank you very much, Sheriff Bradshaw. My name is Mac Bernard. I'm the mayor of Palm Beach County. We have over 1.5 million residents that resides in Palm Beach County. And our job, our number one job is to protect the safety and the welfare of our residents in Palm Beach County. The issue that is taking place in regards to the border is a humanitarian crisis that is taking place. However, shifting that responsibility to Palm Beach County is something that needs to be addressed. And we believe that as a county, that it needs to be addressed properly. As the mayor, I look forward to communicating with the governor to discuss this issue. And if so many people are coming to Palm Beach County, we may have to declare a national emergency for Palm Beach County because it will spread us thin. I look forward to working with our Senator Rick Scott, Senator Rubio, and our full congressional delegation that represents Palm Beach County. Because the burden that will affect us in Palm Beach County will be humongous, specifically our school system, providing these individuals shelter, feeding them. As was said, they were going to be brought to Palm Beach County, processed at the Port of Palm Beach, and then they're probably going to have a notice to appear, and then just left at it as our responsibility. Now, if we have to address this as our responsibility, we will do everything in our power to feed those individuals and to provide them shelter, but it will create this financial strain on our already tight budget in Palm Beach County. We have not taken any official action yet since this is new, but to be honest with you, this is not something that was planned, and we want better plan from our federal government. We are not a border state. We are Palm Beach County, and we're the state of Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And folks, listen, we understand, we get the fact that this is a humanitarian issue. We understand that. But I want you to think through this for a minute. Is it humanitarian to bring people that have no real connection here, have no shelter here, have no way to provide for themselves from an area where at least they're being provided for now into another environment and release them with no means of transportation? To me, that's not humanitarian. But like the mayor said, we're going to do what we have to do, but my first primary goal is obviously the safety of the people in Palm Beach County. I've talked with Senator Rick Scott, I've talked with Senator Rubio, I've communicated with the governor's office, and I have a call in right now to talk with the chief of staff at the White House to convey my concerns on this particular option that Border Patrol has selected. So we're going to deal with this the best way we can, and hopefully this will be reconsidered by Border Patrol. And if somewhere down the line we have to be involved in, like the mayor said, receiving a small portion of people, then at least we'll be prepared for it and have a plan in place in order to deal with it. So having said that, we're going to take a limited amount of questions specifically directed at the information we have.
Have they said why they've chosen Broward and Palm Beach counties?
Well, my information that I have in a sidebar interview with one of the Border Patrol people is when these people come in across the border, there's a process where they talk to them and they interview them and they ask them, where is it in the United States that you were trying to get other than just across the border? And if they say, well, we'd like to get to Texas, or we'd like to get to California, or we'd like to get to Florida, they make a notation on that. So we suspect that some of these people have noted that their final destination was supposed to be Florida.
They didn't say why Broward and Palm Beach?
No, they did not.
And when is this supposed to start?
We're thinking, according to what the Border Patrol was talking about, within the next 2 weeks.
And the numbers, just to confirm, you're saying 500 per month in this county?
It is, to be exact, 135 twice a week. If you extrapolate that out, that's a little over 1,000 a month, and it's split between Broward and Palm Beach County.
Did the governor give you a response? You said you spoke to him.
I spoke with his staff, and they too have very grave concerns about this, and it's their intention to have some communication with the White House on this.
Mayor Bernard, are you expecting any kind of camps or tent villages? Or what is your vision? I know it's early at this point, but what's your vision? And is there an appeal to the federal government for some sort of remedy, subsidy-wise, to handle it?
Well, currently we have a migration plan, but our plan didn't include, having hundreds of people coming on a weekly basis to Palm Beach County. But if this goes through within the next 2 weeks, Palm Beach County we will have to have a meeting, and we're probably going to have to potentially set tents because we're really concerned about people coming to Palm Beach County and not knowing their situations in terms of health care. We're probably going to have to communicate with the healthcare district, so in that way, when they come to Palm Beach County, that we know what status that they are from a health perspective, because, our residents, we have to make sure that we protect our residents in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, and we, as chairman of Regional Domestic Security for South Florida, we have a mass migration plan. But a mass migration plan is designed to handle something like the Mariel boat lift, where people come here exigently with circumstances, and then we take them into custody and turn them over to Border Patrol. It's not Border Patrol bringing us their overflow from another state. That's not what it was designed for, all right? So a mass migration plan, we do have one of them, but it's not for this reverse type of situation where the federal government's actually bringing the illegal immigrants to us versus they come from the outside. Because every day, we're watching our border right out here, which is the ocean. We spend a lot of time to make sure that people don't come in to South Florida illegally. Well, guess what? The federal government now is bringing people that have come into the country illegally to us that it came across over in El Paso. And I don't think it's right. You know, the elected officials don't think it's the right way to do business, and we're hoping that it's going to change. But we'll do what we have to do at the end of the day, depending on what the circumstances are.
Sheriff, do you have any room in the Palm Beach County Jail to hold these?
First of all, they're not going to be charged with anything. They're going to be given a notice to appear. This is basically what you've heard catch and release program. That's all this boils down to, in plain and simple terms. They're going to be given a notice to appear at a future date. How many people you think are coming back? That would be 0.
Did
Yeah.
Border Patrol say how long they've been considering doing this?
No,
for?
we didn't ask them about that. I asked them, is there an end date to this? And they said no.
And are any other states experiencing this similar?
Not that we know of.
Is there a number, a threshold number that you would be prepared, or we are not prepared to have that influx of migrants at this point?
Well, at this point, the number's 0. You know, we don't want to have any more come in to take care of other than what we're trying to do right now for the people that are legitimately here in Palm Beach County. We have a homeless problem. If you haven't figured it out, go out, drive out to John Prince Park sometime. Right? We're dealing with a homeless problem right here of people that live here. We're also dealing with a health problem right now, hepatitis A, for people who live here. So we don't know what we're getting in the composition of these people that are going to come to us that have illegally come in the country, and we don't even know right now where they're from, what country they're from, or what they're bringing with them. So, you know, we want the number to be 0 right now. At the end of the day, they didn't even tell us when this program might stop. So you're figuring, you know, if it's 1,000 a month, that's 12,000 a year, that's 6,000 for us. That could keep on going. Because guess what? The number of people that they're capturing every day is still ramping up.
When did you exactly learn about this, and how was it communicated to you?
We learned about it the first part of the week, right? And that's when the chief out of the Border Patrol out of Miami came up to talk with us about it.